What is up, guys? It is Zervero Talk Lotus here today, and welcome back to the Nerd Corner. And this video is something that if you're subscribed to me, you did not see coming. Much like my ReZero video, it's coming kind of out of nowhere, right? Because I haven't been making videos on this series, and you see it in the title, you see the thumbnail. Today we're talking about Mob Psycho 100. The first, not the first, but the final episode just aired, and I'm going to be talking about my thoughts on the series as a whole. You know, what I thought at the beginning, what I think now that we're at the end. What I thought about this final episode, as well as talking about, you know, Mob Psycho 100 versus One Punch Man. 'Cause that's been like a hot topic in the anime community, is, you know, Mob Psycho versus One Punch Man. Which series do people prefer? Which do they think is better? And it's something that, you know, is to be expected, considering that they're both written and created by the same mangaka or author, whatever you want to refer to, quote unquote, one as. But yeah, so let's start off by talking about this final episode. Now, what personally I was hoping to see and what I was expecting out of this episode was once Reagan got cut down, right? Because we see him get slashed in the back and he falls. I thought Mob was gonna go ballistic. I thought we were gonna see him explode and transform into something to the likes of which we had never seen and could not even fathom. I thought we were gonna see some extremely top-notch psychic abilities that were gonna blow our minds, and I thought he was gonna single-handedly wipe out the 7th Division of Claw in like at the speed of light and just be an absolute savage. Like, I was expecting him to lose it and go crazy. I thought there's gonna be some amazing action sequences, like super hella crazy animation. I just was expecting this episode to be crazy, right? And that's not really what happened. So I guess I was disappointed from the jump, because that's what I really wanted to see. And I don't know if that influences my opinion on this final episode, and maybe it is just me being biased because that's what I wanted to see. But let me know in the comments, is it just me, or did anyone else feel like this episode was really anticlimactic? And it's not even because there was like a lack of action or anything like that, because there was a lot of fighting in this episode. We see Reagan, of all people, get some of Mob's powers, or basically all of Mob's powers, and goes straight savage mode, and he's just wiping the floor with the 7th Division like with ease. And first of all, I'm thinking to myself, okay, a lot of things that are going on right here don't really make sense, but this is a one, you know, series, so it's a parody, it's a gag, it's not really supposed to make sense. So I didn't look too deep into it. I just took it for what it was at face value, and I was like, this is kind of funny. This is actually kind of cool to see Reagan being a savage like this. So I did enjoy that, but I don't know, it just didn't feel very fulfilling. Like, I wasn't satisfied with this final episode. And of course, I would expect there to be a second season for this series, just like there will be a second season for One Punch Man, which just recently got announced, I think, yesterday. And I'm pretty sure that the webcomic and the manga, if there is one, is still ongoing for this series. So I do expect there to be more content. But I don't know, it just felt, the ending of this episode just felt really empty to me. Like, nothing felt like it was accomplished. And I guess that's just because, you know, there is more content, there is more to the story, and there's still, you know, more battles to be had, more fights to be had against, you know, Claw. But yeah, the episode wasn't bad. I did like it. And then seeing Suzuki, by the way, come out of the woodwork and absolutely thrash Igarashi, like, I thought that was sick too. Suzuki seems like a really, really cool character, by the way. For whatever reason, he kind of reminds me of Killua from Hunter x Hunter. I don't know why, but he kind of does. But yeah, so this episode was good. It was fun to watch. It was kind of funny. It almost made me chuckle here and there, especially with Reagan being the savage that he was in the beginning when he inherited Mob's powers. But it just felt like unfulfilling. Like, it just, you know, I don't know, it just didn't feel like the climax that I was expecting it to be. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree in the comment section down below. I definitely want to know your thoughts on this series. And it might also have something to do with the fact that when I got into this series, I was not a fan. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that when I first started watching Mob Psycho, when it first started airing, I was calling it trash. I was calling it absolute garbage. And I still stand by that to some extent. I still believe that the first 3 episodes of Mob Psycho 100 are complete trash. They're not funny at all. They're not entertaining whatsoever. I still think they suck a lot. Except for like the ending of the 3rd episode, because that's where we see Mob kind of explode for the first time and go like 100%, and then he uses his like crazy psychic powers and stuff. That was pretty dope, and I did really enjoy that. But for the most part, that 3rd episode still was pretty bad to me overall. And that's something about the series that I want to point out, is that I was not really a big fan of the humor in this series. Like, all the gags and the comedy, most of it was just pretty stupid to me. And I'm a pretty easy guy to make laugh, right? Like, I laugh at a lot of stupid things. I laugh at things that aren't even funny a lot of the time. And so when there's something that can't make me laugh when it's trying so hard, it just really depreciates the value of that series and just really makes me like it a lot less, because I feel like I'm such an easy person to make laugh. If something that's trying that hard and it's barely making me chuckle at all, it's bad writing in my opinion. That's just how I feel. And especially in those first 3 episodes, like I was irritated. I was legitimately irritated and getting frustrated with how bad the jokes were and just how unfunny it was. I was angry at the series, and I thought, like I said, I thought that the series was absolute garbage. And after the first 3 episodes, I stopped watching it. I plan to go back to it eventually, just because I'm one of those people that I have to see a series through to the end, unless it's something ridiculously long like One Piece, which is the only series, by the way, that I've ever dropped and don't plan to continue. But something like this that's 12 episodes, even though I wasn't a fan of it, I was like, well, I gotta see it through to the end. So I did put it on hold for a while, and then I think it was a For Neverworld video that I saw like a few weeks later, where he was like, yeah, things have gotten so dope after episode 5. If you drop Mob Psycho, you need to get back on it, yada yada yada. And I was like, people always say things like this, like, oh, it got so much better after this part, or this happened, and the series gets so much better after like the first 3 episodes, yada yada yada. And like 99.9% of the time, that's like never true. Like, there's so many things out there, so many manga and anime series, like, oh, it gets really really good after this part, and like you get to that part and you're waiting for the really really good part, and it never comes, it never shows up, and I'm just like, yep, I don't even know why I got my hopes up. Now I'm just even more disappointed. But I'm actually glad that I picked the series back up, because while I still don't think it was that great, it did get a lot better after the first 3 episodes. Episode 4, episode 5 and beyond were leagues and leagues above those first 3 episodes. Like I actually had a good time watching the series. And again, I still wasn't really impressed, because one thing else that I want to point out that I wasn't a fan of is that I don't like the art style for the series at all. I mean, that's just my my own taste, my own preference. And I know I sound like I'm being really negative in this in this video. I do apologize for that, but I'm just giving my honest thoughts and opinions, and you guys can feel free to disagree or let me know what you think of what I'm saying in the comment section down below. We can have all the debates and arguments that you want. But yeah, I don't like the art style for this series. And like, I know it's like being loyal to like the webcomic, and I know one isn't like a super talented artist, and so they're basing it off his comic and the manga or whatever, if there is one. But I don't like it. I mean, it's loyal, so I can respect that and appreciate that, but that doesn't mean I have to like it, if you feel where I'm coming from. So yeah, I don't like the art style, and so many of the characters look the same. It's just, I'm not feeling it. Not to mention that there's like this really weird green outline on the characters, like the the outline of a character should be black, right? And for whatever reason, like in this series, it's green, and it was like very prominent, and it like stood out a lot to me in like the first few episodes, and it was just very annoying and irksome, and it just looked ugly to me, and it really bothered me. Maybe I just got used to it, or maybe they did something different in later episodes, because I felt like it wasn't as prominent and I didn't notice it as much. It didn't stand out as much to me, or like I said, maybe I just got used to it, or maybe they did something different, but for whatever reason, it wasn't as big of an issue for me. But yeah, those were just a few complaints that I had about this series. But overall, I will say that yeah, it definitely did get a lot better after like episode 4. Seeing the character development of Shigeo, or Mob's brother, that was really awesome, and I didn't expect to see a lot of his brother, which I wanted to, because I was like, well, it's his brother, he's got to have some sort of abilities or story to him. But hey, who knows, because there's been other anime series where the sibling doesn't really get no time to shine, but we actually got a lot of screen time of Mom's brother, and that was really dope to see. And I actually enjoyed the episodes that were focused on his character. And then when he eventually unlocked his psychic abilities, I'm like, yo, this is really sick. Like, he turned into a straight savage, and it was dope. If you subscribe to me, you know me. Characters who turn into straight badasses are just savages, and just like they do what they want. They don't care what anyone else says or thinks. Like that really appeals to me. I get a really big kick out of that. And yeah. So all in all, the series did get better after the first few episodes, and I did have fun with it, but I still wasn't, vastly impressed. For the most part, I thought it was I still feel like those first 3 episodes were pretty bad, and it did get better, but it doesn't, make this a 10 out of 10 in my eyes. I don't think this is a masterpiece. And that brings me into my next topic, and that's discussing, this series versus One Punch Man. And I only just watched One Punch Man like last night. Like, I actually just binge watched it, because I never watched One Punch Man. But I wanted to watch it, not only because it's a series that I've been meaning to watch for some time, but I kind of avoided it because of the hype. It's something I tend to do. The hype tends to ruin series sometimes. You get your expectations up too high, and you just come out disappointed in the end. But it's been some time, and the One Punch Man hype has definitely died down. But I wanted to see the series for my own personal enjoyment, but I also figured that watching that would add something to this video, and I could talk a little bit more about Mob Psycho vs. One Punch Man. And if you want my honest opinion, I think Mob Psycho 100 is nowhere near as good as One Punch Man. Because see, the thing with OPM, right? It's entertaining, it's good from the first episode. With Mob Psycho 100, at least, you know, in my opinion, you gotta get through 3 episodes of complete trash before you get to the good part. That's just how I feel. Mob Psycho 100, like, I rewatched the first 2 episodes, and I still hate them just as much as I did when they first came out. But with One Punch Man, stumbling over my words, so, you know, bear with me. But with One Punch Man, straight from the first episode, I was entertained. Like, the music is tight, I like the art a lot better, animation is just as good, if not better, and it's entertaining straight from the get-go. It's a lot more action-packed, which is something that appeals to me. But yeah, every episode of One Punch Man is good. And that series, while again, I don't know if I want to use the word masterpiece to describe it, but in its own right, it is a masterpiece because it knows what it is and it does what it does really well. It's a parody shonen, or maybe seinen, whatever, you know what I mean. It's a parody of shonen, rather. That's a better way to put it. And it never takes itself too serious. And Mob Psycho 100 does sort of the same thing. I just feel like One Punch Man executes it a lot better. And one thing that I'm always going to harp on is the fact that I just really was not a fan of those first couple episodes of Mob Psycho. And it took too long for me to really get into it. And then even when it did get good, it wasn't amazing. It was just, okay, this is actually entertaining. Like, this is actually watchable. So, yeah, that's my standpoint on the issue. Not the issue, but the topic at hand. And honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I could probably do a whole separate video just talking about Mob Psycho versus One Punch Man and different aspects of the series and how they compare and contrast. So if you guys would be interested in that, definitely let me know in the comment section down below if you guys want to see a video like that, because I'd definitely be glad to do it. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. But I think that's everything that I really wanted to touch on in this video. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Hit this video with a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already, so you guys can stay tuned for all the awesome content I plan on bringing you. And with all that being said, that's pretty much all I have for today. So I will catch you guys next time. Later.